Okay. Um, Diagrit Cordia, agus fáilte arás go tá ag fólam Gaeilge. Tá sé, it is mí na nullag in the year, so blina fihe a do. So that means it is December in 2022, and I'm just reporting in as to how I'm doing regards to progress in my learning of Irish. So I have my notes here, my notee here as usual. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover off where I am with things. So hints and tips as to how I'm getting along. So the first thing I'm going to cover off is Duolingo. Oh, actually, and what I'm going to do then is I got this guy in the door. So what it is it's obviously currently in Ireland, as in with the rest of Europe, there's a bit of an energy issue. So this is a booklet that came in from the government with regards to being how to work with energy conservation and minimizing your bills. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and translate a little bit of this. The thing I've learned over the years with regards to these things is that I might pick up a leabhar in a shop, a leabhar, and so a book in a bookshop, and I'll flick through the pages and I'll understand some of it or a good bit of it. But what I find is that anything that comes in from the government, whatever it is about the language, it just seems to be quite challenging. And also, so it kind of falls into the same area as, say, something like poetry or music, in that it's the language is probably different from ordinary kind of Gaeilge. And that's the thing. So just to kind of give you an update on where things are. So let's see. So Duolingo, I'm still using Duolingo. And as I've mentioned, I have cancelled my subscription. So I'm up to day 693. They updated the app. And it has this layout now. Very long, convoluted setup, and I don't like it. So ní maith a. So I do not like it at all. I don't know why they updated it the way they did, but it's just not as good as it was. And I kind of follow, there's a guy on Twitter, or a guy or a girl on Twitter, and what they're doing is every day they post a tweet about, asking these guys to change it back. And the comments, interestingly, the comments were that the update is so unpopular that it has impacted negatively on the share price of Duolingo. But unfortunately, they are going to stick with the current layout. So it is poor. It's disappointing. It is poor. It's just not. I wasn't a big fan of the layout in before, but this is definitely a retrograde step. So that's the thing. But I'm at day 693. So what's that? So that's Shakeade Nócha a tree. So Shakeade Nócha a tree, 693. I think I'm saying that right. Now basically what I do is interesting. What I'm trying to do, because I'm not really using it a whole lot anyway. What I'm trying to do is actually, ironically, or is it ironically, is I'm trying to minimize the amount of use, and I'm trying to get demoted. So in the past, I was obsessed with getting promoted. So I'm currently in the Emerald League, and I was in. So that's 5 leagues from the top. And what I'm trying to do is do the bare minimum to see how hard it is to get demoted. And actually, it's proving quite challenging to be demoted down. I'm doing the bare minimum, and I seem to be either managing to maintain the level I'm in, or now. So you might say to myself, Kane Fa, why are you doing that? I'm doing it just out of just a bit of interest and probably devilment as well, just to see what's going on. But I'm kind of not using it because I'm deliberately on purpose using Rosetta Stone. So where am I with my Rosetta Stone? So bear with me now for a second. Fonsec led the hull. So that's Rosetta Stone on the phone. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I should go Hainado, 3 Cahar, Cook, Shay, Shocked. I'm on level hooked. So I'm on level 8, and that leaves me with then when Hainado 3 Cahar levels to go. and then I'll have done it. So Rosetta Stone is a far more challenging proposition versus Duolingo, and I'm enjoying it. And what I also do is they have this extended learning part, and I have these. So they have these audio companions, and what I'm doing is when I'm driving around, I listen to the audio companions when I drive around, and I find them quite useful. So basically, all that is the audio companion is just the practicing speaking your Irish. So that's quite good, and there's quite a lot of them. They also have this stories piece as well that I haven't used. You can't use because you have to be able to read it when you're driving, and that's obviously not practical. So, but I am enjoying using Rosetta Stone. Gav Malishka. So the other thing I'm using is I listen to a lot of radio na Gaeltacht. I do listen to a lot of the radio na Gaeltacht when I'm driving around. So again, I kind of somewhat able to follow the gist of a lot of the conversations. Really depends on the dialect of the person and maybe the complexity of what they're talking about. That's quite useful, and it's really just about training my ear to be able to discern the language and also to listen to what people are saying when they're having, say, normal conversations. And I'm able to kind of get the gist of stuff. But it's a great way of picking up words because I'll go, oh, what is that word? So there was one word and it's eglorg. And I heard them using it a lot. And I was kind of going, what does that word mean? So I looked it up and it means looking for. And that's quite useful. So it's a good way of reinforcing when you're learning words, because what you'll be able to do is you'll hear them using the word over and over. And then when you go away and you learn what that word is, it on some level helps with the context of the conversation. And once you've learned it, you've learned it. Also, I listen to a lot of TG Cahar. So that's the Irish channel, the channel on Irish TV that's As Gaeilge. And I watch a lot of programs on that now as well. And the good thing is that it's subtitled. And what I try and do is I try and watch the programs without reading the subtitles, but it's hard to do, you know. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look for keywords, and that's a thing. So Progress in Irish, I'm still using this guy, and actually there on the fridge, you can see here, I put a whiteboard up on the fridge, and that whiteboard is basically my way when I'm reading through this. What I do is I capture notes, and it's just a useful way of learning, because what I'll do is I'll stick some notes up there, and what I do then is I'm walking through the kitchen or something with the kitchen, I'll read them. But this is very good because there's a lot of very useful information in here. You know, it kind of explains the structure of the language, and also it gives you kind of things. It gives you things bilingually. So Gaw Hancock. So it says is dinna macanta he is an honest man. And so I just basically, what I do is I just kind of flick down through it, reading it, trying to absorb the information in a kind of passive enough kind of way. But then what I'll do is I'll make notes up there as well. So it's quite good. That is quite a good book. What else did I buy? So I have bought this Lauer here, Mother Folklore, and I'm enjoying this. It's quite a good book. So this book really just is about the Irish language and explaining it. So I'm that far through it. So a little over halfway. So la is half. La. So la, I keep saying la or teresh, but that's half past. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm going through it. So basically this is a good book, and what he does is he explains just the importance of things such as like the power of the fada, and I'll try and find the page where he has, so things like he has here, so he has here in this section here, say things about the fada. So the word T-O-N-O fada G and T-O fada N-O fada G. So the first one, T-O fada N-O-G, so with one word, one fada is a duck, and with two fadas it means a small bottom, right? And then he has shean, which is to whine or squeal, and then S-I-A fada N, so that's Shion presumably or something like that, and that just means fairy mound, and so on. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting because like there's obviously the famous one for me is far, F-E-A-R, and F-E fada A-R, I think, if I'm spelling that correctly, means. So it's man versus grass. So good book. Good book. I'd recommend that. Yeah. So I think it's a good book. So I'm just kind of tipping my way through that as well. The thing with these always is trying to find the time to do that. The book I bought previously about the Proverbs, I'm tipping my way through that as well, and that's also an excellent book. But I saw this guy, and I picked this up, and this is basically Proverbs in Irish by a guy called Gary Bannister, and this is it's on my kind of to-do list. But what he does then again is he gives proverbs. So here, Ka Rev Tussa Imshire Nagluas. So where were you at the time of ears? And then then an explanation underneath it was, i.e., to someone who's not listening, referring to the possibility that the person was absent when God was handing out the gift of hearing. So Ka Rev Tussa Imshire Nagluas. So these are good because it's a great way of broadening your vocabulary, but also it shows you how, Gavneshka, when things are said in Irish, they're not a straight translation into English in every case. So I do enjoy reading those. And actually, I bought his other book, and this one here is a phrase book, Oscailga by Gary Bannister as well. So what does he have here? So bidding. I'm bidding my time. Tom ag fannacht go fáinach leis an am ceart. So, again, my view here is all I do basically is go down through them, reading them, and then thinking about them, capping about them. And then what I do then is just basically try and absorb the information. And obviously then I still listen a lot. I still listen to a lot of videos on YouTube. So I listen to Rosie, Gael Irish with Rosie, and I like her videos. They're very good, very very detailed. And then I listen to Dane, so learning Irish with Dane, and also then I listen to Gael in my career, so with Molly, and all very good, very useful, great hints and tips and bits and pieces like that as well. So that's really just the update as to kind of where I am. So if I was to say, how is it going? I think it's going gama. I think I'm definitely, first time round learning a language. I think it's quite challenging, but I think I'm definitely getting there with regards to my understanding of the language, in that I'm starting to understand more and more. And when I'm listening to the radio, I'm getting more of the gist and then trying to practice it. So that's kind of handy. And actually there's a guy in work where I work, and he's fluent in Irish, and him and I on some level we're kind of communicating back and forth in a little bit of Irish, and that's handy. And he's someone useful to talk to, and that I can ask him some question regarding Gaeilge, and he'll explain things to me and helps put them into context. So that's quite good. So Sinead, I'm just gonna crack on. Like I said initially, when I was doing this, I said to myself that I'd be speaking the language in Grablin, which was, I think, unrealistic. I'd say, without being immersed in the language. I think Cuig Blin is probably more realistic. And what I'm hoping is that the progress is exponential. I hope that, year 3, when I start year 3 in January, that I'll be building exponentially on top of what I've learned, that the first 2 years are learned trying to get my head around things. And because I think the thing is, when I go back to videos that I've watched a lot, that information now is in my mind, because when I watch them, I know this. I can more or less predict what's being said in them. So that means that I'm on some level finding them boring, but it's not really boring. It's more to do with the fact that I know the information. So that means that I've learned it. And I think then in years 2 and 3, so the whole thing is still evolving, and the view will be that once I've finished with Rosetta Stone, then I'm going to start eating into these books. And then ultimately what I'm going to do is sign up to do some course where I can practice my Irish online, talking to people. And then really the dream, my dream will be to obviously spend some time in a Gaeltacht and immerse myself in the language. That would be the dream. So that's probably a few years down the road. So let's crack on with this guy. Let's see. Let's just do what I'll do is I will do 10 minutes of trying to translate this and try and keep it kind of interesting. So let's have a look. So what's it say here? It says Fante agus Fulan on Givre Shah. So when I first picked this up, I read it and I was going Fante, so stay warm, and so August and Fulan on Givre Shah. So I recognized Givre is winter and Shah. So it's interesting for me because I always struggle with Shin and Shah. So Shin is that and Shah is this. So stay warm and something this winter. And for some reason, Shah and Shin always I always struggle with them for some reason. But the way I remind myself is that when I hear the word Shin, I always go that Shin. So like in my mind, what I'm saying is that Shin, and it reminds me of tatching in a way, and that's my kind of thing. I kind of go that Shin, and this then clearly then this shot is this. That's just my way of, because I don't know, the words are so similar, and they're not in kind of impregnated into my mind that when I kind of go Shin, although I say Shin A all the time, so Shin A is that's it. So you think I would know that, but whatever way my brain is working. Okay, so Fulan is interesting because there's a jam I think is Suv in Irish, right? So Oscailga Suv, and there's a jam, and the brand is called Fulan, and basically what it means is healthy. So the way I was looking at it is stay warm and healthy this winter, and what the actual translation is stay warm and well this winter, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so let's get started on doing some kind of translation here. Okay. How's this going to work? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up, and then that should be in perfect focus now. So you might be able to take a screen grab of what it is. I'm sure you can Google this and probably download this document if you want. So let's have a look. Let's see. So immediately I'm like, okay, this is going to be quite challenging. So they haske na made uha I Gustus Fuinov tá gríomhre dúshlánach riamh gach duine din. Okay, so immediately, and you know, I do sometimes pick up things and I read them and I go, I know exactly what that means. When I read this, I'm going, I'm not sure what this means. So they haske, I'm not sure. The maid uha I Gustus Fuinov. So I'm assuming in Custus is like cost, is it? And Fuinov, is it something to do with windows? Tá gíomhre dúshlánach riamh gach duine din. Haven't a clue what any of this means. So what we'll have to do is go over to our trusty Google Translate, which isn't great, but let's have a look. Let's see what it says here. So let's see. So they Aska, or see, it's DH, so it's I'm thinking to say Haska, is it? Haska. They DHEASCA. They Haska. As a result. Alright, okay. As a result, nah. As a result, so it's going to be some due to, right? So the made him ifada made UITHE. I probably should have picked something easier to UITHE due to the increase. Okay, they haska the made ditche e. Okay, so e costus in the cost. So it's going to be something else. So E COSTAIS due to the increase in costs. Fuinov IMH energy. Okay, so due to the increase in energy costs, tá gíomhre the winter will be or something like that. So ta Geivre, Geimh or Eadh. There is winter. Ooh. So now douchey. Douchey. See this word, it rings a bell. Douchey. Douchey. D U fada. D U fada. SH. Lawn. Lanach. The winter is challenging. Riv. Gak dinner. So that's like everybody. Gak dinner. Gak dinner for everyone. Now what is din? Din. Due to the increase in weather costs, we all face a challenging winter. They haska na maid dithe I gastas fuinneamh tá gíbre dúshlánach riv gach dinne din. Okay, what I'll do is I'm gonna go till 10 past, and that's 8 more minutes. Okay. Sha sa lauron sha. So sa is in lauron. So sha is this. So in this book, I think that means so sa lauron. That's just like a strange way of spelling it. I wonder, does it mean something else? Leabh or a fada. Sa lauron sha. In this booklet. Sa lauron sha. Now this is a word I used to struggle with in the past. Yoey to. I could never get my head around the GHEOBH. So yoey to mion. Excuse me, got my leshkel. Yoey to mion sonri fui na taki ata a salahar egg on realtas chun Cavrú líon malach a dhéanamh trí na muoine atá le teacht. That's a long old sentence. Okay, so let's have a look. Yoey. Is that like getting? I think it is. Getting you, mion, don't know what mion, fui. So fui is about. Na, the taki, don't know, it's plural of something on it. Atá Solahar Egna Realtis. So Egna Realtis is it's like the government. Egna Realtis to Cavrú Lin. Cavrú is help. Cavrú Lin Malach. So help you with the way of making tree through the months atá le teacht in your house, I think it is. Okay, so I think it's something, what they're basically saying is the government are going to help you get through the months in your house. So let's see what this translation is. Sa lauron sha, comma, Yoey, GHEOBHAID, Yoey, you will find Yoey to Mion Sonri. Is that like information? I don't know, or something. Mion Sonri. SON or A. I fada. Mion Sonri. You will find details. Fui, FAOI. Fui na TACAI fada. What's that mean? You will find details about the supports. Where am I? Atá. So I think atá is like is. Form of is, isn't it? Atá. a tá á sol ahar solahar SOLATHAR. You will find details about the supports that are being provided. Ag na Rialtas. So is it by the government? Is it at so Ag na Rialtas. Real by the governments. I'm assuming it's by the government. Hun Carew. So that's to help. CABHBHRU for that. Providing help. Lynn. So Lynn is I think it's to you, is it together? So Lynn to help us Malak or Malak. That's the way. MBEALACH. Malak. Help us on our way. This is a long sentence. DHE fodder. I'm unconscious of the time now. The end of tree. DHE fodder. ANAMH. End of tree. That's true. Tree na mina. Am I fodder? Oh, and then that. Make our way through the months. Atá mina atá le chopped. Atá le chopped. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to knock the translate because that's heavy going. So what is it saying? So it's saying, due to the increase in energy costs, we are all facing a challenging winter. In this booklet, you will find details on the supports of the government are providing to help us make our way through the coming months. So they haska na made itche I gustus fuinev tá givre úsláánach riv gach din sa lauron sha. So that's an interesting lauron. Yoi to mian sonnery fui na taki atá salahar ag na Rialtas chun Carew Lynn Malak a dhéanamh trí na mína atá le teacht. So let's see if I skip to where is it? Ostberle. So with energy costs rising. So what do we say? Due to increase in energy costs. With energy costs rising, okay, we are all facing a challenging winter. We all face a challenging winter. In this booklet, okay, you will find details on the supports government. So what did I say? You will find the supports that governments are providing to help us through the coming months. Are providing to help us make our way through the coming months. So obviously that's the Google translation, which is, again, from my understanding, is not great, but that's not bad now. I mean, it's obviously better than what I did. So there you go. So okay, so look, what we'll do, I'll kind of knock it on the head there. A bit of translation is always useful. So Shine, agus gurama hagat for watching this fish on, and I hope to be in touch soon again. So look, if you have any hints or tips or advice, give up, then I'll just send them on to me. Let's give up in Irish. Give up something suus. What is it? Let's have a look. Irias. Okay, give up, right. So that's it. So Slán